Looking at the seeds, it already looks like what the Fuzz might be taking the match, but it could just be because Trout Sandwich doesn't have many results and could be grinding scrims. So it could still be a pretty even matchup here.
Yeah, and that's one of the important things to realize, that a lot of these teams are going to be new to the competitive scene. So there's not a lot of realistically, you're going to see a lot of inconsistency, but all these teams are going to be around the same skill level because they are relatively new. So don't count anyone out of this tournament. There's going to be a lot of players and a lot of teams that are going to surprise you today.
Something I really like about low-level teams is that they can make pretty much any comp work. There's no like heavy reliance on cooler. It does make space for like many off-meta picks work.
Definitely. That is why I love commentating low level Splatoon, because people are willing to try new things and just do fun stuff. You know, you see a lot of dedicated one tricks who are playing these interesting weapons. They're dedicated to their craft, and they understand that weapons that might not be valued by some high level players have a lot of interesting mechanics that can bring to a team comp. So I do really hope to see some of those off meta picks and just these players not only having fun but showing that they know how to play and how to win.
I'm not sure if the players are being shown on screen, but Clashist from What the Fuzz does main Clash Blaster, and I find that to be a really interesting pick, and I find it really cool that they were able to bring it all the way up to Div 6.
Yeah, that is a huge accomplishment, definitely. I know me personally too, I'm also a off meta one trick. I one trick the reflux, and it's fun, honestly. It's what motivates me to play the game. So yes, players like Clashist, that is a huge motivator to continue to grind, is taking this weapon that nobody believes in and pushing it through the ranks and just proving yourself to the world. And that's what we'd like to do here as well at SBA Showcase, is show off these players who are doing new and unique things and bringing their own perspectives to the competitive scene at this lower level, trying to grind upwards.
Oh hey, fellow bow one tricker. I'm the tri-stringer one trick. So
Us bow one tricks will rule the world one day.
yeah,
You can quote me on that. We're taking over.
it's like really annoying trying to be in the comp scene as a one trick because like nobody wants to play with you a lot of the time.
Yeah, no, that can be fair. It is difficult to find people who are willing to experiment with those things. And again, going back to these lower level players, a lot of them are more willing to play with people. It's all about the vibes, and it's about these people who are dedicated to continuing to improve, and not just people who want to win and run, the traditional comps. Now, I do believe on screen we are having a couple of more technical difficulties. Apologies to the viewers, but this is season 1 of SBA Showcase, so we are trying to get things a little bit more set up. I do believe we are slowly trying to get ready with our first match. Now, I believe, yes, here are our maps for round 1 of the group stage. Mako Mart on Splat Zones. A little bit of a less conventional Splat Zones pick as of late, but is still run in a couple tournaments. Tomu, do you have any opinions on this map and mode?
Um, well, Mako Zones is a very common pick that I'm seeing a lot in like pretty much everywhere. I find this to be a pretty difficult map for backlines because of like how awkward the positioning is. Um, I'd like to see if anyone would be running Crab on this mode.
Yeah, a crab could definitely be a very useful tool, and I see what you mean with those backlines. If you can get set up on those stacks, it can be a good position, but getting there is quite difficult, and staying there is harder. If you have a bucket player or a role player, they have a very easy option to beeline for that stack, completely remove the player, and just take back control. So we're going to have to see how these players are playing, and that's, again, going back to those weapons picks you're talking about. Some of these players, it's basically like their debut to being seen by the viewers and us, the commentators. So I'm not quite sure what kind of weapons they're going to be running. We can have some speculations based on their sendo profiles and what we might know about the players, but this is their chance to show to the world that, hey, this is what we're running, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to win.
I wonder if any of the teams would be running pencil. I would
honestly,
love to see pencilless comps.
Yeah, I too love pencilless comps, and now more than ever with that recent pen nerf we saw in the most recent patch just earlier this week. But a lot of people have still been running it. It lost the paint power, but it still has a lot of kill potential, just like most other chargers. But at that point, it does come down to, are they a charger player? A lot of pencil mains switching off to the headit, as it is now considered the better soda weapon. NZAP's still a great replacement as well. But yes, I do love seeing those coolerless comps. Me personally, I don't even run cooler with my own team, so I think that it helps you play a bit sharper at all times, because you don't have that crutch of being able to revive very quickly. You have to push smarter at all times, and it gives your team another option to have another aggressive special, maybe another strike, maybe a crab. As you mentioned, having a crab here on this map mode could be very useful for these players.
Speaking of patch, okay, I'll continue this point later, but we are starting off with the first match here. I really respect that red pencil pick.
Yeah, I'm looking over here on the other side with this gold dynamo pick coming up from Wahoo on the side of Trout Sandwich. Not a weapon that you see very often, especially because there's a soda variant. No, going for those jumps. Already 3 members down on Trout Sandwich. What the Fuzz already getting through. 4 players pushed up. There's that aggressive positioning from that pencil that we talked about earlier. Riv standing on that stack now. What the Fuzz are looking to open up in a very, very dominant fashion here, blocking out Trout Sandwich.
Red Clash is also something that I really don't see a lot. If I was expecting a Clash, if we were seeing a Clash Blaster, I'd be expecting a blue one, but it definitely seems to be working out for them.
Yeah, definitely already What the Fuzz having a great stand here. Though Trout Sandwich starting to break back into it. Here comes those strikes and the soda. Getting 2 picks there. Harper walking forward, trying to paint. Riv on this pencil needs to survive as they back up, and What the Fuzz have to regroup. But the shot player getting picked off now. A lot of bombs coming in from the side of Trout Sandwich. They know how to use those sub-weapons. Now we want to see some specials online so they can just prevent the breakback in from What the Fuzz.
I think the rain on zone hit is something they absolutely could have pushed with. It doesn't seem like they will, but now that the strikes are going in, they immediately are able to take back zone and almost fully wipe out Trout Sandwich.
That's definitely what Trout Sandwich wanted to prevent, but they didn't have enough special killing online now. Arson getting picked off in their own spawn as we have the players walking through now. What the Fuzz getting set up in Trout Sandwich base. They take back their lead, and now they want to hold out. Less than half of the scoreline remaining. Wahoo dropping in with the dynamo, unable to get the pick onto Riv. Barely surviving with that pencil. Once again, they nerfed the paint, but they haven't nerfed the kill power. And now it looks like Trout Sandwich are breaking back in.
It looks like there's a bit of panic on both teams, as there's quite a few players down on both sides. They are scrambling to get the zone here.
Yeah, a little bit of a scramble, but they're very close to capping. They just need a little bit more. It's just a Clash Blaster left. You have to cap. There you go. They managed to get the cap and apply the penalty to What the Fuzz. Clash just has to back out. They know that they need their teammates. A Clash Blaster is going to fight best when it has other people to do some of that heavy lifting, as they're more of a chip weapon. 2 members down on the side of Trout Sandwich. They do lose the zone. Wahoo is pushed up very far by themselves. They're trying to get some picks in the back here to allow their team to get back into mid, but out of paint, out of time, and they are down. Now What the Fuzz up 15 members with that control.
The aggro they drew that did slow down the push, What the Fuzz's push back into mid. I wonder if they're going to be taking advantage of that.
Yeah, and with time running low, that penalty's almost out. So what the Fuzz? They just need to defend here. Only 17 ticks until they get that KO. Trout Sandwich needs something. Here comes the strikes, though a little bit too far off the side. They're not getting on the zone, but they do manage the cap with that flank from Wahoo painting the side of the zone just barely enough to apply the penalty. But with the numbers down, what the Fuzz are still in control. The minute 30 left.
Trout Sandwich has to play really efficiently here. Even though they don't have much time to work with, they would have to push in with specials if they want to be able to take that zone again.
Yeah, and again, there's not a lot of time, so they do need to do specials, but they're just getting spawn camped right now. They have the strikes ready from Arson on that bucket, but no time to use them. They have to throw them out now. Are they going to be able to? No! The KO from What the Fuzz just coming out and unable to get those specials, taking this first game on Mako Mart Zones.
Trout Sandwich was able to get 2 down on What the Fuzz at the very end there, but it was unfortunate for them that they didn't have time to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and that is one of the things with Splat Zones. Time is always your enemy. It's such a quick mode. KOs are by far the most common in this mode, so you need to be able to get what you need. You need to be able to do what you need to do as quickly as possible as to not waste enough time that you may get knocked out. Now, here's a different story though. Ink Blot Clams. That is a mode where you have a lot of time to figure out what you're going to do. Clams, a much slower mode. You're going to have the ability to kind of formulate a more coordinated push with your teammates.
Do you think anyone would go for the clam jump cheese?
It's perfectly viable. On this map, there is that higher area, as some call the bats or the bunker. Using that rail to get up there, it can be a very good spot to jump in more clams. I think what it will really come down to is which team can get the picks to allow their side to have that numbers advantage. We've seen the aggression already from What the Fuzz, being able to get into the base of Trout Sandwich and manage to stagger them. So if this is going to be a similar story, it's going to be a very difficult game for Trout Sandwich unless they can find a way to keep What the Fuzz out.
I do actually want to continue the point I was making earlier about the new patch. Like I'm kind of curious as to if any of the other teams have had their weapons or strategies changed because of that patch, since they were training under like different they were training under a different patch. So I wonder if any player got knocked off their favorite weapon because of it.
It's definitely a possibility, but I think it's also important to consider what the patches have changed. A lot of players do just look at it and go, oh, look, pencil nerfed. Oh, look, heavy buffed. But ultimately, it's about, the actual changes. A lot of players still playing pencil. We saw Riv on the side of What the Fuzz still on that pencil because it's pressure that it applies. The power and the ability to kill still stands. The only difference is its paint. But if you have a comp that can still paint well and you're patient enough to get out that paint in a relatively timely fashion, the pencil is still a very strong weapon.
I really, really do respect the red pencil pick. It's very rarely seen, and I don't know, it feels a lot more interesting than the one with the cooler.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the red pencil. I think it adds a lot. Inkstorm in general, I think, is a very slept on special, but it can apply a lot of pressure to an area and allow your team. It gives your team a visible circle on the map that says we can fight here. People will take damage. People are getting. I believe it does help heal your teammates as well. So it is a very useful tool. But now coming into our next match already, a lot of weapon changes actually here on both sides. Very interesting.
We lost the
comps
pencil
going
here. Also, Mini with the quick super jump main, which is very interesting. Do you have any idea why they'd be running that?
I'm not 100% sure. I would say probably it might just be a clams thing. They might be trying to focus on being able to jump in with clams when necessary. Arson also running the LDE. It is kind of a support build. They're trying to be able to use everything they can to make sure that their team has the utility, the resources it needs, whether it be clams, whether it be paint. Now, already, What the Fuzz breaking in. No, actually, now Trout Sandwich are the ones that are managing to push back What the Fuzz, getting 3 members down. It's just Dr. Lion on that auto shot.
We did see Trout Sandwich get a very, very early wipeout at the start of the game, but it doesn't seem like they were able to take advantage of that, and now they're back to neutral.
Yeah, and this neutral game in clams can be scary. It may last a long time, and if you make one long step, it'll go away. Arson getting the pick on that with that hammer, but What the Fuzz are still breaking in. We've seen this entire match played inside of the spawn of Trout Sandwich. No push has transpired yet, but that map control is going to be massive with the Fuzz.
Unfortunate clam miss.
Yes, they missed, but they do get it in now. But with 3 members down, just Dr. Lion, they go down 2. That's not the push they were hoping for. Only a power clam and nothing else.
You know they've got a really, really good push going, even when they miss the clam, but still have time to pick it up and get it back in.
Yeah, it's that you know for sure in the comms. They're like, don't worry, guys, I got it. Second chances, we're fine here. Now, Trout Sandwich, they need a solution here. They have a Zipcaster, and it does come out. They have the hammer getting to Arson, throwing it, not able to get the third just quite yet, but there it goes. The triple kill for Arson. The Zip also ending from Napkins. Trout Sandwich have the numbers, but they need to get in, but an unfortunate bomb placement does trade out Hyper.
Well, it does seem like they're back to playing neutral again. What the Fuzz is currently in the lead, so Trout Sandwich will have to try and make a push here. It's not a very strong lead, but they will still have to put some time in and effort to perhaps strengthen that lead.
And if you're on the side of Trout Sandwich, it's not a lot of points to get a lead. The problem will be being able to defend after it, so you do want to get a large lead. Still very much anyone's game. At the very least, we won't get the coveted 7-minute overtime from Clam Blitz because we do have points on the board. 2 minutes left, and there's just a skirmish in mid. This is kind of what we expected to see from a map mode like Inkblot Clams. It's very slow compared to what we've been seeing in Splatoon.
I also do find the mini pick is definitely because of that new patch, because it is very much broken now. Well, broken might not be the right word. Yeah, What the Fuzz or Trout Sandwich was it? No, it was What the Fuzz is able to get another power clam in, but was unable to follow up with like smaller clams.
Yeah, indeed. So now What the Fuzz do have a couple more points on the board, which is what they wanted, but still not a lot, only down to 70. But with this aggression we've seen from them, Trout Sandwich don't have an opportunity to make a push as of yet. They need to get those picks, they need to coordinate their specials, because as it stands, What the Fuzz are just going to slowly stall them out with a minute left in the match.
They get themselves another power clam in. Napkins was almost forced to do a solo defense. They were able to stall out What the Fuzz just enough though, and that is a wipeout.
There's the wipeout. That's what you need if you're a fan of Trout Sandwich, but with only 35 seconds left, they have to get some map control and get some clam economy. They lose the power clam as Wahoo goes down. Arson is looking to go pick up that power clam potentially here on this right side, but Dr. Lion is defending it. Napkins also going down on that Octobrush. Arson coming in, trying to get the hammer, get the one. Can they get any more picks? No. What the Fuzz scatter and manage to work together to tame the beast. Only 10 seconds left in this match. Trout Sandwich, they have all 4 members alive, but they need a power clam or else they're not. Actually, they do have the pity clam. The overtime will begin, but they need to score now.
They seem to be really panicking here, and the Zipcaster is able to draw a bunch of aggro, but no one is able to follow up on that, and Hyper Beam does get the pick on the roller.
And
That's
the power clam. Yep, the power clam despawns. No members of Trout Sandwich available to pick it up. What the Fuzz able to stall out and take another match 2-0 over Trout Sandwich. Now
It's good to see that they actually fixed hammer because we did see that the hammer was not shot through from the front this time.
yeah, it's nice because as much as people say it's a buff, part of it is just fixing it. You know, you want the
Yeah.
weapons to work properly in your video game. Now, this group stage is best of 3. So we will not be seeing that third match museum on Rainmaker as What the Fuzz has won the set 2-0 over Trout Sandwich. Now, this is just the first round of groups. We will be seeing 2 more rounds here on stream, but we're going to be going to a quick break as our teams are getting ready for the next round. We'll see you all very, very soon. Don't go anywhere.
Goodbye.